Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. So Super Mario 64 is probably the game I've replayed and completed the most of any game ever. And the reason for that is probably because of the stars. Whether it's getting a concussion from blasting into a brick wall, soaring through the sky with your wing cap, or getting chomped up by an evil piano while trying to collect red coins, it's always a blast to revisit this game and collect those stars. So I thought I'd go through each level in Super Mario 64 and pick my favorite star from them. And I'm just going to be going through the levels in order, so this isn't necessarily a ranking from worst to best or anything like that. But anyways, let's go! Starting things off in Bob-omb Battlefield, there are a couple of classic stars to collect, whether it's climbing to the top of the mountain to take on King Bob-omb in a duel to slam each other's butt into the ground, or racing Koopa the Quick to the top of that same mountain. But my choice is actually behind Chomp's gate, and the reason for that is it's the 6th star on the list of stars, but it's the first you see upon entering the level, and challenges the player to begin thinking about how to get that star from the get-go. One of my favorite things about Super Mario 64 is how you can get the stars in any order you want for the most part, and to put the last one in Bob-omb Battlefield right in front of the player's face right at the beginning of the level is Nintendo clearly trying to showcase that idea, and I think that's really cool. Now for Womps Fortress, shooting to the Wild Blue is the choice for me due to how you can either use the cannon to blast your way to the platform, or implement some wall jumps to get there quickly if you have the skills. Speedrun strats! Speedrun strats! Speedrun strats!
2 hours later.
Speedrun strats! Yeah! Next up is Jolly Roger Bay, and as much as I would want to go with either of the stars that involve that nightmare-inducing eel, or the cool factor of the sunken ship rising to the water and collecting red coins on it, I ultimately have to go with Treasure of the Ocean Cave. I just think this is the perfect feeling of progression for this level, conceptually and music-wise. Music-wise, you start at the beginning of the level with just the classic Jolly Roger Bay tune going. Then you jump in the water and layers start accompanying that tune, adding to the depth and atmosphere, followed up by a drum joining in by the time you reach the hidden cave. And conceptually, the idea of a pirate hiding a treasure in a secret cave is pretty cool too. Hit the chests in the correct order, and you have yourself a star. From Cool Cool Mountain, I decided to go with Big Penguin Race, which is available once you have completed the first star of this level. You jump into the cabin at the start of the level, and this time there's a big boy waiting for us, and he wants to challenge us to a race where we have the clear disadvantage. And not just because he's a penguin sliding down a track of ice, but also because he can booty bounce you during the race, but then he has the audacity to say that we cheated if we use the shortcut. Anyways, it's always a fun time to revisit the star in each playthrough. Next up is Big Boo's Haunt, where most of the stars comprised of taking out Boos, or in one case a giant Mr. I. My choice though is Ride Big Boo's merry-go-round. You have to go to the underground part of the mansion, whether through the elevator in the shed in the courtyard, or by falling while in the mansion. You then start to hear carnival music in the distance and enter a room that's a merry-go-round with giant pictures of Boo all over the walls that are blowing fire out of them. You have to take out all the normal Boos and then Big Boo will appear, with defeating him granting you the star. The concept of this one, combined with the cheesy yet unnerving merry-go-round music, is what ultimately makes it my choice for the best star in this level. Now on to Hazy Maze Cave, which was actually one of the harder levels to pick a best star for, seeing as I'm not the biggest fan of this level. I mean, we could just pick Watch for the Rolling Rocks and call it a day, since it's the one you can arguably get the fastest in this level, but no, we're gonna go with Swimming Beast in the Cavern, because of Dory. You have to navigate your way to the underground lake and then find and get on Dory to make your way to the platform with the star. This isn't the most exciting star for sure, but navigating the toxic maze and the stars that are involved with that are on the same level to me, and like I said, this one has Dory. Now for me, the best star in Lethal Lava Land has to be Hot-footed into the volcano. First off, the idea of jumping into the volcano to uncover a new part of the level just blew my mind when I was younger. And once you've entered the volcano, you'll need to platform your way to the top, avoiding getting squished, your booty torched by the various flames, as well as pole jump to get to the star. It's just so atmospheric and cool and so much fun. Now just like going into the volcano was the coolest part for me in Lethal Lava Land, going into the pyramid is the coolest part for me of Shifting Sand Land, so obviously inside the ancient pyramid is my choice here. But right off the bat, you can tell that this pyramid is huge compared to the volcano. You have to navigate tons of obstacles like grindles and spindles, as well as amps that will try and shock you during very inconvenient times, like while you're trying to navigate some monkey bars, or while trying to settle over a pit of sinking sand. but it's not as annoying as it sounds, and in fact adds to this star being tons of fun to get. Dire Docks is a level that I've always enjoyed, but when trying to think of which star is my favorite to collect, none really jumped out to me. Collect the caps would be a cool idea if you actually had to use both the metal and vanish cap simultaneously, but really you can just use the vanish cap on its own to reach the star. Pole jumping for red coins can be tedious and annoying at times, and chest in the current is the literal equivalent of getting shocked. But ultimately, I decided to go with the Manta Ray's reward, where you have to follow a manta ray and try to swim through 5 of its rings without a miss to get a star from the underwater creature. It can be a little finicky at times with the hitboxes of the rings, but the concept is fun, and that's enough of a difference maker for me with the stars here. Next up, we have Snowmans Land, and while I'm always a sucker for things like going into the igloo and uncovering a secret part of the level, the star that I'm going with for this level is Snowman's big head. You have to climb up to the top of the level, and in order to do that, you need to get by the snowman's face. Once he detects you're up there, he'll start blowing and you'll be knocked off if you aren't careful. You have to use the penguin's booty while on the icy platform to not get blown away, and of course the penguin will try and screw us over again by shifting back and forth, making this a fun little challenge. Now at Wet Dry World, there are a couple of interesting ones to choose from, but ultimately Go to Town for Red Coins is my favorite here. You have to find your way to the downtown area for the star by either getting the water at the highest level possible by jumping into the painting at the highest point, or by getting in the cannon and blasting your way over the cage. Then once you've swam your way to the secret area and drained the water, you can explore this abandoned town on a search for the red coins. It's probably my favorite red coin star, and the only one on this list for that matter. Next up, we have Tall Mountain, and first off, I have to give an honorable mention to Blast to the Lonely Mushroom, as I think it's really cool that you can long jump off the rolling log to get to the star instead of the traditional way of blasting to it from the cannon. But my choice here is Mysterious Mountainside. One, for having to find the secret entrance by the cloud, but also because it's arguably the most fun slide in the whole game. There are tons of dead ends that will send you to your doom, as well as many twists and turns on your way to the star. For Tiny Huge Island, I have to go with Make Wiggler Squirm. It's really cool that you have to go to the tiny level first and drain the water on top of the mountain and then return to the big level so you can then enter that hole that was at the bottom of the water and have a duel with a rightfully angry Wiggler. Because I mean, Mario, that was pretty uncool of you to literally flood Wiggler's home. And it's an alright boss fight, but ultimately getting there is the fun part. Tick-Tock Clock is the next level on the list, and my favorite star here is Stomp on the Thwomp, mostly because it's the one star outside of arguably the coin star that requires you to explore the whole level, and seeing that Tick-Tock Clock is one of my favorite levels conceptually in the game, this is a slam dunk pick for me. Just navigating around all the pendulums, treadmills, and various flipping and moving platforms and making my way all the way to the top to find the lone thwomp is always such a fun challenge every time I replay Super Mario 64. And finally, we've got Rainbow Ride, and a good chunk of the stars in this level are about platforming while on rails, riding the magic carpet around the stage, and while that's fine, I much prefer making my way over to the tricky triangles and going for that star. You have to navigate these platforms in a limited amount of time before they return into triangle structures and slide you off of them, potentially to your doom. It's a fun platforming challenge that's my personal favorite from this level. Anyways, those are just my favorite stars from each level. Comment down below and let me know which stars are your favorite to collect from Super Mario 64. Also make sure to give this video a like, because one like equals one less evil chomping piano, and be sure to subscribe for more videos. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.